Okay, the little non-required lesson extension for the Pythagorean theorem part here. I'm actually not a lot different to these. For example, one of the things extending, I'm not going to let you know which one you're trying to find, whether you're missing the hypotenuse or whatever. And you're going to, I won't necessarily give you the formulas, although you're taking it right where at your computer, you'll be able to look them up. The other thing I'm going to do is give you some that have expressions in them, and so you have to find the answer will just be another expression. So here, your job is to say, all right, well, which one am I looking for, a hypotenuse or a leg? And you look at it a little bit, and it wouldn't take you too long to figure out that since this is the hypotenuse, you're looking for a leg. And then you go leg equals square root of 13 squared minus 7 squared, and you punch out your answer that way. So 13 squared minus, I know what 7 squared is, that's 49, equals square root 10.95. So L is equal to 10.95. There we go. So same kind of thing here. What are you missing? Well, you're missing the hypotenuse. So in this case, that hypotenuse is going to be the square root of 5.1 squared plus 2.1 squared. Doesn't matter what order you put them in since you're adding them. So I got 5.1 squared plus 2.1 squared equals square root 5.52, we'll say. So the hypotenuse is 5.52. Makes sense. It should be fairly close to this. All right, what about this? So here we're looking for the hypotenuse again. And it starts off the same way. The hypotenuse is going to be the square root of, now, this squared. That's 7x the whole thing squared. Plus 3x the whole thing squared. So the hypotenuse is equal to the square root of 49x squared plus 9x squared. So when you do this, you have to square the coefficient as well. And that gives me, well, 49 plus 9, that's going to be 58. It's going to be the square root of 58x squared. Here's the thing. In this case, you can actually take the square root of x squared. You're allowed to break up the square root over both. So you could write this as, in fact, you probably should write this as x times the square root of 58. You can leave the square root of 58 as that, even if it's not simplified like math people. That's fine for me. With the x there, I wouldn't use the decimal. I would just use the square root of 58. But this is fine. All right, what about here? Well, here, we may even need to use some scratch paper here, because we're looking for a leg. We have the hypotenuse. We have another leg. So our equation, let's go over here, is going to look like the leg equals the square root of the hypotenuse, which is this guy, squared. So 3x plus 5 squared minus 2x, remember the whole thing squared, because that was the other leg. Now we got to simplify this mess a little bit, clean it up at least a little bit. So L equals, now we're going to do FOIL on this. Now I'm an old vet at this, so we're going to go 9x squared. 3 times 5 is 15, but there's 2 of them, so that's plus 30x plus 25. That's foiled on this. Go check it yourself if you don't believe me. Minus 4x squared. L equals, let's see, square root 5x squared plus 30x plus 25. Now, that's not a perfect square. So The only thing you could do here is you could factor out a 5, but I'm fine. We're good. We're good. I got nothing wrong with that as a final answer. Really, in a way, I have nothing wrong with this as your final answer, showing me that you know how to set it up. The rest is just, decorating.